Okay, well the first game I'm going to show is an absolute classic demonstration of black's chances in this knight a6 line. It comes from the Vietnam Championship played in 2012 between Pham Chuong playing with white and Grandmaster Cao Sang playing with the black pieces. And let's get to the position after knight a6. Now obviously white has a wide choice here, but if d5 is good, we can all pack up and go home, because it means that white has executed his positional threat at no cost to himself and black just stands worse. Fortunately for black, I think he's got a very good move in this position, and bishop b4 is the way to tackle this variation. This move just simply threatens to double white's pawns on c3 and break the control of d5, and in my view is an entirely satisfactory response to the immediate d5. Now Pham Chuong in this game played knight to d4, and Cao Sang took on c3 straight away and brought his knight into c5. That's the nice thing about this variation. When white plays d5, the knight on a6 has a good square to lock into. Well, white played bishop g5 in this game, and now having the better pawn structure, black was just happy to simplify. He played h6, white took on f6. This is a little bit too compliant from my perspective from white, but I think white has been genuinely surprised by black's opening choice, and he simply doesn't know what to do. And now of course we reach a pawn structure which is inherently extremely favourable for black. The only thing, what does black play here? Now there are many players who would play d6. I think after that probably white would press forward with a5, or he might immediately take on c5, after which both players have a set of double pawns. Cao Sang's move is much better. He preserves the integrity of his pawn structure with queen d6, and essentially just sets up a positional idea of just knight takes b3, queen c5 and then d6, after which white is looking at dreadful doubled c-pawns with absolutely nothing to show for them whatsoever. I would say probably that white is positionally lost already, but the way Cao Sang prosecutes his advantage in this game is noteworthy. Well, after queen c2, black fixes the pawns with a5 on the queen side, and now of course white's whole queen side is riddled with weaknesses. It's just a question of exchanging pieces and then targeting those weaknesses. Naturally, white avoids exchanges in this position with knight d2, and black plays f5. e4, white is absolutely bankrupt strategically in this position, so he tries something in the centre. Cao Sang moves forward with f4. So in addition to all his trumps on the queen side, black has now got the possibility of a strong kingside attack. So this is a really nice thematic game to start off with. And basically what we see now over the next few moves is black shunting his pieces into ever better positions on the kingside. Well, there's no possibility now of white changing the central pawn structure, so black is able to play d6, which is what he wants to do, and then exchange off the powerful light square bishop on f5. Essentially black's endgame, the endgame is winning here for black, whichever endgame white chooses, and so exchanging pieces makes perfect sense. Of course this doesn't decrease the power of black's attack, as Cao Sang is now able to double on the f-file. White played queen c2, black played queen d7, so there's definitely the idea of f3, queen h3 and mate on g2. White stops it, but only temporarily, and now black begins the slow process of shunting this rook into the attack. I mean, left to his own devices, black's basically going to play, let's see, rook g5, queen h3 and then rook h5. So white's got to do something about that, or it's going to be game over straight away. He vacates f1 for the knight, and he protects g2. Cao Sang is not bothered. He plays rook g5. He's seen an additional mating idea here, based on, for instance, queen h3, queen takes h2 check, and then rook h5 mate. So however white plays here, he's really in trouble. Knight f1 was answered by rook g4, and this stretches white's defence to breaking point, as in order to defend his pawn on e4 he's got to go back, which he doesn't want to do. The other black rook comes up. This is a model game really. Black frees up f1 for the knight again. Back comes the rook with the same threat, rook e3, and now it's time to finish him off with a direct attack. So Cao Sang moves in with queen h3. The nice thing about this move is that it even allows white to take on f3, because when he does, we're going rook takes f3. Incidentally, on the last turn, if white had taken with the rook, then I think rook h5 just kills. Got to go knight f1, then we take on f3 for free. So knight takes f3, rook takes f3, rook takes f3, rook h5. This just shows, going back to the opening, that d5 is perhaps not the best and wisest choice for white.